Down where I live, my dad, down in the forest, my dad's well known for knowing about dogs. How to train them, how to breed them, how to keep them fit and healthy. And this is a story my dad used to tell to demonstrate his canine capabilities. And if it demonstrates anything else, it's my overuse of alliteration in storytelling. And the fact you should never trust your money with posh people. I think I'm alright saying that with you here tonight. So many years ago there was a knock on the door of my parents' little house, and my parents opened the door. They seemed that seemed like a good idea. If I wanted to tell this story 40 years later, they'd have to open the door. And there stood the immaculately dressed chauffeur of local dignitary and bigwig, Lady Ponsonby. And he told my parents the sad news that Lady Ponsonby's pedigree pet poodle, Sir Percy Pompon, was poorly. In fact, he was pining away. He started off the size of a Great Dane, and now he was down to the size of an emaciated whippet. And she'd taken him to all the best vets in Europe, from Venice to Viney Hill, but to no avail. The poorly pooch's malignant malady was still a mystery. And as a last resort, she wanted my father to have a look at it, and he said yes. And sure enough, down at the bottom of our drive was Lady Ponsonby's Rolls Royce, and sat in the back seat, reclining on a satin cushion, was this poorly dog, going like that, and looking terribly wan. Well, not even one, maybe half a one. And the first thing my father noticed was that, as was the case in the fashion with pedigree pet poodles at the time, his coat was cut into his immaculate pom-pom shape all over it, sort of. So my father looked at it, and he made his diagnosis straight away. He jumped in the back of the Rolls Royce and told the chauffeur to drive to the local chemist in Colford. So off they went when my dad was still in his string vest, sat in the back of the Rolls Royce, eating the last bit of toast and waving at the people, making various hand gestures at the people. And he got down to Colford, and the chauffeur put the poorly pedigree pet poodles of Percy Pomeroy down on the pavement. And my father went into the chemist's and bought tuppence worth of silver sand, that miracle cure-all of old. Tuppence worth, because threepence worth is enough to kill anything stone dead. So he sprinkled the last bit of this mysterious powder on the piece of toast, and he went outside and he lifted and put the silver sand on top of the gum and went lower now and stood back. Because if you're going to put mysterious powders into your body, apparently that's the best way of doing it. There's another way, but my dad didn't think the dog was up to it. So he stood back, and the effect was it was electric and immediate. The dog shot in the air 6 foot, and all the hairs of its pom-pom shapes stood on end, and it was already running. So when it landed, it was off through the streets of Colford. And my father jumped in the Rolls Royce, told the chauffeur to follow the dog as best they could, and off they went through the streets of Colford and out into the Forest of Dean. And they followed the dog uphill and down. Well, not many dales in the forest. They followed it through a heavily wooded area, and then another heavily wooded area, and then a slightly less wooded, and then out into the open countryside. And the dog getting further and further into the distance, until even the Rolls Royce couldn't keep up, and the dog disappeared into the distance. Now it was 3 days later. My parents heard the sad news from the chauffeur that Lady Ponsonby's pedigree pet poodle, Sir Percy Pomeroy, who pegged it, had pegged out. He'd been found stone dead on a wooden bridge the other side of the Brecon Beacons. Now, as a story that demonstrates my father's abilities with dogs, it's not the dog was dead. But at least he made a diagnosis. Now, a French poodle is a fine, upstanding, manly thing. And to have its coat cut into these pristine pom-pom shapes was an affront to its Gaelic pride. And it needed something to reinvigorate its libido. Although that wasn't the phrase my father used. And sure enough, all over the Forest of Dean, a few months later, there were litters of sheepdog puppies, looking as if they had something slightly French about them. Wearing a berry on the side, and this is a while ago. And not only sheepdogs, sheep as well. Talking pretentiously about art and liking Jerry Lewis films too much. That is what you call. Well, it's not quite a shaggy dog story. It's an overly craffurd. It's a shagging dog story. And my father never got that tuppence.